Hello, 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 hello.
Hey,
How you doing?
doing?
Hello? Yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I got you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have one of my good friends from the sunny South Side of Dallas, Michelle Ellis. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How you
I'm doing all
doing?
right over here killing these leftovers.
Man, I had my leftovers in lunch
Damaging
earlier,
leftovers
so
over here. I done used up all my goddamn bread. That's gone now. I had the bread ends. No, you ain't struggled till you use the bread ends to make a sandwich though. And I put them on the skillet a little bit, smashing that shit. So, how was your
yeah,
Thanksgiving?
it was good. I mean, of course, due to COVID, like I didn't want to be around too many family
Mm,
members, but I went by my mom's house. She made like a little small dinner, and then I went to go visit my brother. Then I came back home,
cool.
so nothing
Yeah,
too much. Just spend time with
yeah.
family.
Mine was very lonely. Mine was the total opposite. I went to the
Oh, did you cook
huh?
though?
Hell no.
Did you
Nah.
cook?
I ended up going out to eat and I had got like a
Oh, okay.
to a place that had like pre-made dinner, so I bought one because I knew I wanted some leftovers and shit like that. So but it was all right though. It wasn't too bad though. It was different because I'm used to being around a lot of family. So this is my first one
Mhm.
in my whole 30 years of existence was by myself. But it was all right though. Went to the casino. It was all right. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. So
That's good.
let's jump right into it. Let me get a brief uh, a brief summary of your upbringing. And coming from South Dallas, like I know very well, it is a very tough place to be raised. But that place, it also has this very much it it has a lot of star qualities in that place, and that's why as many great people come from that place as they are because if you can't if you can make it out of South Dallas, then your limits is pretty much like you don't have none. So tell me about that. Tell me about your upbringing.
Well, my upbringing in South Dallas, like I mentioned, like back in those days, my younger days, like the whole community knew each other. So it wasn't that bad because, the whole phrase, it takes a village, like our village was actually working,
Yeah, yeah.
like protecting us and things like that. So it wasn't so, envious and so much hate like it is during these times. So, of course it was easier, back in those
Hmm.
days. But I just had a normal upbringing. I was born and raised in South Dallas. I went to, like all the schools in the same area, from J.J. Rose to Pearl C. Anderson to Lincoln High
Yeah.
School. After high school, I'm not into school like
Hmm.
that. I encourage everyone to go to school, but this, it's just not for me. So I just took up a trade in business administration technology, just to have like something that I would know how to do or any job that I can get based on the field that I was, like in because, technology it basically runs the world these
Hmm.
days. So, you have to know about it. So, that's basically like my upbringing and, just typical childhood, spend time with cousins and family. And back in those days, everybody was out.
Hmm.
So family would just pull up. You didn't even have to call them. They would just, pop up and things like that. So it was happy back in those days, I would say.
Yeah, it really was. Even going back to the school thing, I think sometimes one of the biggest misconceptions is that when you leave high school, you have to go to college. And the truth is, you don't. You don't have to go to college. You can go
Yeah.
get a trade. Me personally, I've done both. And financially, I've done better with my trade than what I went to school for. And um, that's just what it is right now. Even the last president, I won't say his name, but even he was talking about how what I'm saying, how um, the country is going to move more towards people with credentials, with trades, with things of that nature, because you can put them, like people that have trades, you can put them more to work because, and
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, like it's specialized. You know what I'm saying? It's not a broad
Exactly.
scheme, and but yeah, I mean that's very important. So that's what's up. That is what's up. So um, next thing I really want to get into was um, tell me how the impact your parents had.
Well, my mom raised me the majority of my life. So
Hmm.
my dad, he was around, but he wasn't, like a everyday dad, but he would, come in on the weekends and things like
Yeah.
that, pick me up. So, but I spent the majority of like my childhood like with my mom and my grandmother. So I would say my mom, she has a very strong work ethic. Like she's very smart.
Right.
She's fearful. That's one thing I respect about her. She's the shortest person, but I mean, like, she's just so brave. So that's one thing I admire about her, like her strength. Like I admire the strength of a black woman, period, but especially my mom. So I would say just watching her go to work, making it on her own, still doing things that need to be done, without the help of anyone. If the help came, then of course that was great. But other than that, like just seeing her like just continue just to keep it moving, that's like one thing I always say, like you just have to keep going. And by watching her continue to go, I think that's what I use like in my everyday life, like today. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's hard, but you just have to keep going and like she showed me that like by example.
Right. Right. Now, right now, as you already know, I'm going through an interesting dynamic with my family myself. Right. I,
Hmm.
I was in um, living with my kids for majority of their lives, pretty much all of their lives until about some months ago. And so I always wondered how that affected people. And everybody I interview, a lot of my peers were raised by single mothers or co-parenting parents. So how did that affect you growing up? Did you really worry about it? Um, could you um, feel the effects of it, or you didn't really worry about it?
Well, I mean, even though like my mom, she was a single parent, like for the most part, when she did, like get married to the guy she was with for like numerous of years, like I always looked at him like, cause he was there as like a father figure. So we
Right.
had like a good example of a father figure in the household from like a young age until, all up through middle school or whatever the case may be. But I do admit, like, being that I had a father figure, but it wasn't actually like my father. I feel like that, like, caused me to grow like some numbness and kind of like slight resentment towards him. Because,
Mm.
as a child, like, of course, you would want, like your dad, of course, no matter
Yeah.
if a father figure is there, like that's not your dad or whatever the case may be, but you just have to learn to accept what you have while you have it. So I just had to, just to learn to accept him, and he was there and things like that. He was a great stepdad. He's still around. But of course, I think it does play a huge part. Like I feel as if in women, especially because I think that's our first example of how a man is supposed to treat us. So it's
Right.
just like if we from a young age have examples of the man that is supposed to protect us and like look out for us and have our back
Right.
turns away and just speak to us when he wants to. I think when we deal with men, and I
Mm.
think that's why a lot of women just accept a lot of back and forth,
Mm.
if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. That does. Yeah, because
Yeah.
that dynamic is weird. And I talked to my brother. Um, he, it's kind of the similar, same thing as you grew up in. We don't share the same father, but we share the same mother. So
Hmm.
it was very different like that. But um, for my kids, I think the advantage that I do have is that I was consistent in their life. Like
Hmm.
every
That's
single
very
day
important.
of their lives. I cut all three of the umbilical cords. I got pissed, shit on, threw up on by all three of them.
Memories.
And but yeah, right. But they always say that the most important time with the children is in that young time frame. So in
Hmm.
that young time frame, all that they know is me, and through them, it reminds me like, okay, yeah, man, I did a good job. Because they still look up to me. They call me. They ask me for a lot of stuff. And I tell them all the time that whatever's going on between me and your mother is none of you guys' business, and it's none of you guys' fault. And as you
Hmm.
grow and be able to comprehend, I would tell you everything. But right now, just focus on continue being a kid. And I know that it affects them because
Hmm.
it'll affect any kid. You know what I'm saying? But that's just one thing that worries me a tad bit. But
Yeah,
um,
and another thing I want to add to that before I don't mean to interrupt. One thing I want to
yeah,
add to that, I
you're right.
think when the mother doesn't like speak badly about the father in front of the child, because that
Yeah,
plays some effect as well. So long as like your current situation, whatever case may be, they still respect you like that because I'm pretty sure like their mom isn't talking down on you because she know you're a great dad, and the kids know you're a great dad. So by telling them that, it confuses the child. So I think
Hmm.
a lot of children be confused, thinking that their father's just this horrible person, and it could be situations that we don't even understand.
Right.
But I feel as if like my mom, she never did that. Like I
Yeah.
said, she worked, she provided, her
Yeah.
husband provided for us. So it's just like, that plays a huge part as well, I think.
Right. See, because my daughters, especially like my oldest one, like I put it like this: my son is my wingman. Like if I go somewhere with my son, oh yeah, I'm getting some numbers today. I'm getting some IGs. You know what I'm saying? Because he handsome just like his daddy, and he got long hair, not like his daddy, so he got a little bit more intangibles. You know what I'm saying? But when I go out with my oldest, she cop blocking all day. No, daddy, she got mad at me because I was putting on cologne before we go out to eat. So I'm putting on the cologne. She's like, "What are you trying to smell good for?" I said, "You sure right? You sure right?" You know what I'm saying? I can't. You know what I'm saying? Because it's funny because that was my baby, so I love that. I really love that. That's a great
Mhm.
POV. Now let's get into these health choices, right? I just happened to be scrolling the Instagram story one day, and I see
Mhm.
you toned up. You done changed the IG name to Tone's Queen. So I'm like, okay, right.
Uh-huh.
So, what made you make, or better yet, what made you more passionate into making better health choices, right? And what continue, and what keeps that enthusiasm as you continue to do that, like after you see progress.
Well, I think the reason why I do it overall is because, of course, I think everyone would like to live longer. And then one thing I noticed with like simply changing the things that you eat can affect your body, like more beneficial versus like actually going to the gym. Because I feel as if when you implement healthier choices into your daily routine, it's easier to keep up with. So if every
Mm,
day like I'm buying this, I'm buying like the organic foods. I'm like only buying like spring water. I'm only consuming like fresh fruits and vegetables. I'm not eating like any pork or anything like that. So once I learned how to do that part, and once I learned how to do that part, and I became disciplined, it became easier for me to do it. And then I started to notice like how it affected my body. We don't realize like you can just simply change the cooking oil that you cook your foods in, and that can change like your whole body. So I think when you start to like research and learn more about your body, and then it's like actually the feeling is what keeps you going, like because when you feel good, you're going to keep doing something that's going to make you keep that feeling. So it's like, why not eat healthy? If this is going to make me continue to look like this and feel like this, then why would I
hmm.
stop? So at this point, it's like no looking back. I'm already too deep in it now. It's like, and once your
Right.
body gets so used to like consuming like what it needs, once you put things into it that it doesn't need, it's going to reject it. So like but of course everything is done in moderation. Like I'm not saying I'm perfect. I only eat this, I only eat that. Of course, I have my
Hmm.
days like I cannot leave simply lemonade alone. Like I do not care. Like I have to get me some simply lemonade with
I have some.
strawberry.
Yeah,
So
I have
yeah,
some
I
right here. I
mean,
think
but I
it
do.
is the raspberry kind that I'm
See, I don't
mixing
like the
with my.
raspberry. See, it's
I,
only the strawberry or the lemonade. But that's one
I'm
thing.
mixing that
Like
with the
I
liquor
have
of
to do
my
that.
kryptonite.
Okay, yeah, but it's all done
Yeah.
in moderation. So you just have to learn to like just implement. I wouldn't suggest anyone to just throw everything in their refrigerator and their cabinets away. Like I wouldn't suggest anyone to do that, like throw everything out of the refrigerator, things like that. But I just think like if by taking small steps and implementing like little things at a time, I think at
Hmm.
that point like it'll be easier and one won't be so overwhelmed
Mm.
because it's very
Right.
overwhelming. But it's
Yeah.
worth it.
Right.
It's very worth it.
Yeah. It's true. Now, what if somebody came to you? Now, you gave me a list, right? You sent me a list.
I did.
You made me a list, and I highly appreciate you taking out time of your day to make your boy a list. But as I walk through the grocery store, with the list, I'm like, man, it's so not that couldn't, I could, but it was like, why? You know what I'm saying? And of course, the why is for a lot of people is the problem, and also sometimes the prices for some people. You know, it's always as we grow up. Now, growing up in South Dallas, like it wasn't no healthy options. out there.
Mhm.
You had barbecue baked potato where you can barely see the goddamn potato. That shit got chopped beef, hot links on it, cheese, sour cream,
Man.
bacon, all type of that shit here. That shit way about the size of a newborn baby. You know what I'm saying? You hungry? Shit, go take your ass up to Williams Chicken, get you a quick two piece or Churches or Big Daddy's or the Pink Store or
Good
wherever
luck.
your area
Yeah,
was.
all that.
Mr. K's, get you salami and cheese and you know what I'm saying, Frito pies and all that shit was hurting us,
Yeah.
and it's still it was hurting us. So growing up and making better choices, it's something that's a struggle. I know for me because I'll take a goddamn hot link Earl Campbell and split that shit in a minute and throw that shit on the skillet and won't think twice about it. But the fact that I'm getting older,
Mhm.
I'm 30 now. You know what I'm saying? I still stay fairly active. I'm not all active like I used to be, which is also a problem. But I think that is something that people that grew up in type of area that we grew up in need to have the access to.
Mhm.
We need to start cultivating more. My mother, she started she ate fairly healthy. I mean, of course we gonna occasionally go to some two partners and get the occasional big ass baked potato, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, we ate healthy. My dad, as I was growing up, was Muslim. So I don't even fuck with pork. I really never have, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's like a little bacon here and there, but I don't even like really eating that. Like if I catch it, then I won't, you know what I'm saying? I won't want it because trust me, him being Muslim, tell me all them horror stories about pigs and shit,
Yep.
so but even when people was eating chitlins and hog maw and pig feet, I'm like, what the fuck is that shit? You know what I'm saying? That shit hurts our body. So another thing we want to get into, right? What is okay? I put it like this. Let's start from this angle. What is your ideal man? What does he look like? What does he do? What is the picture that you have set up? Like, yeah, this is the nigga.
Oh wow. And see, here's the thing. Like, I don't have a type. When I say I don't have a type, meaning like I can't. Okay, well, I guess I do have a type. I'll take that. But of course,
Come on now, keep it
I'm
real.
gonna be real. I
Come
do
on,
have a
keep it
type,
real.
but it's just as far as like I'm trying to just put this very very simple. Of course, I would want a man that is God fearing. I've dealt with men in the past that's not that, we were compatible in other areas, but as far as like God, you know how people know God, but they just don't walk with him. If you see what I'm saying, like
Yeah,
if they know of them, but they don't apply it to their everyday life. So my ideal
you have
man,
to be.
yeah,
Yeah.
so my ideal man has to like know God, like speak with God, talk to God, go to God before he go to anyone else, they have, like faith and things like that. So I would want a man with, of course, like faith, the same faith values that I have as well.
Okay.
Of course I would want someone that's taller than me. I mean, think I'm like 5'6", 5'7", so I'm considered tall for a girl, I guess, but of course, I want to look up at my guy, whatever.
Right.
So, of course, as far as a profession, I mean, you can work a 9 to 5, you can be an entrepreneur. I feel as if long as you're doing something that makes you happy, then like go for it.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I do love about men, I love learning from men. So I'm very interested in men
Mm-hmm.
who are smart, and not even in the sense of like books,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as like, because you can be smart in all areas of life. So anything that I can learn from a
Oh yeah.
person, like I tend to gravitate to men like more of that, that's going like towards
Mm-hmm.
that lane. As far as of course I love black men. I ain't gonna even
Okay.
front.
So you want
As far as dating
okay.
outside of
So
my
I mean,
race,
you said like you want like let's see. Let me think about a Robin Thicke type white man or Travis Kelsey or what I'm saying, something like that. You wouldn't be interested
see,
in one of those type of.
I like weird guys, and that's the thing. Like the type of men that I really,
Okay.
really like, I don't seem to attract them because they're considered like You know, like, okay, let me give you an example. Perfect example,
Right.
Andre 3000 type shit. Like, I like him is just because
Hmm.
it's like a mystery to him, but he's so talented
Yeah.
and he's so handsome, but it's just like he's himself, and it's just like a weirdness to him. Like, I love, like men like that.
They carry around a flute. And they carry around
Yeah,
a
and just
flute and
pull
they
it out
just
his pocket and just start playing like that's some player shit right there. Like, I just love people who are themselves. Like, like the people who are like into like
right.
anime
Right.
and like the whole people that are considered gothic. Like I love people like that. Like, I wish I was that free, to be
Yeah.
honest, like the freest beings. But
Yeah.
yeah, I like, if it was like a white dude like Robert Thicke, he's too pretty for me. Like, I don't like like the pretty.
You don't like okay, what about
I like the
okay.
rough looking
So what
ones.
about like a okay, so you like the like what's the nigga name that was on the TV show? Brett Michaels with the bandana or
No, okay, so I like
he
the
had
dude from that the guy that plays Thor. I like him.
that nigga
He
ain't rough
is
looking. That
rough
nigga like a
looking in
pretty
the movie.
boy.
He rough looking.
That nigga ain't rough looking. That nigga look like sunshine.
Sunshine was
Long blonde
Sunshine was
hair.
cute
That
too
nigga is
because he's
not
so awkward and weird. See, he's cute. I like Sunshine. He was handsome. See, I like weird stuff. So it's like the dudes that come to me is like they feel as
yeah,
if I like
yeah.
gotta have the hood type, but that's mainly the type I attract, I guess, because like the area I'm from. But I'm a very open
Yeah.
person.
Right, right, because that's one thing in our community that we talk about a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? And that for me personally, I don't really
Hmm.
mind, right? You know what I'm saying? Like if I see like a like a black guy with a white girl or vice versa, it don't bother me. You know, for some people
Okay,
it
I
bothers
want to
them,
bring
and
this
I just
up.
don't understand why.
Okay, I
Go
feel
ahead.
as if that I don't have a problem with interracial relationships at all. I feel it becomes a problem when the people do it just to spite the race, for example, or the people who do it to feel as if they have to achieve a certain level of success. Those are the type of interracial
Hmm.
relationships I don't get with because I don't feel like it's genuine. You can tell it's not genuine. It's always like a motive, it seems.
Okay.
For example,
Right.
we could take it to the Gucci versus Young Jeezy battle. His whole thing, like me
Yeah.
personally,
Okay.
I ain't gonna even front.
Yeah.
I'm a Gucci fan. Like, I love Gucci growing up. I love, I like both of them, but I feel as if I relate more to Gucci because I respect the fact that he know where he's from. I mean, of course, people grow, you change, you travel around the world, you do this, you do that, and some people just
Yeah.
like what they like, and I get that. But I feel as if Gucci, like, of course, he did what he did, but he's still himself. He know he from the hood. He know he sold dope and all that other shit. But he gonna marry a black woman. He gonna be
Right.
where he from. He gonna take her as community. Do whatever he do. I feel as if Young Jeezy,
Right.
he's trying to switch his image because of. I
You
feel
think
as
he's
if in order to do
mm,
that, I don't think that, and it's seen every day. It's seen on social media. It's seen in the TV that in order for like certain black men to reach a certain level of success, they cannot do that with a black woman. I'm not saying all of them can't do that, but it's to be known like when a
hmm
black man reaches a level of success, he does not incorporate the black woman into their lifestyle. So I feel as if that if
okay.
you do stuff like that, then you really not for your people. To me, that's like a diss
Mm.
on your whole community because you sold dope to the community. You say you own half of Atlanta. Why can't a black woman help you rebuild half of Atlanta? Put rec centers in there, put housing
Well,
communities in there, do little bring
yeah.
other resources because that's a
Well,
black woman where she is from. So she would know what to do. If you know what to do where
right.
you're from, I know what to do in South Dallas right now. It don't have to take me a month or a week to ask questions and walk around and give me a map of the community or anything like that. I know what's needed because I come from there. So that's
Right.
just me. I'm
I
not
mean,
like a man can like what they
right.
like or whatever the case may
Yeah.
be, but that's just my perspective
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? I think about it different. I don't think, me personally, she's cool, but
She's cool and she
I
said
don't
that black men is
I don't know.
like the side piece and she like her men white and lean. The white meat keep her mean and lean and the black meat side.
Yeah, and she has a history. She's been through a nasty divorce
What
and
does that have to
shit
do with how
like
she
that.
feels
And
about black men?
as well, what I'm saying is this is she has a lot of red flags for
Oh,
a
I thought
woman
she
in
was saying
general,
that it
right?
was an excuse. I thought she was
You
making
know
an
what I'm saying?
excuse for a
Right.
comment.
Yeah, no, no, and but here's my thought about that, right? Now, I'm pretty sure Jeezy has definitely had his pick up the litter in all types of women, right, throughout his life. Because his fame, his fortune, what he does, things of that nature. So I think about like this, I think that he's trying a lot of women. And I think that he's at a point at his life where he's like, look, I can still, be running around, you know what I'm saying, and then whatever. So I don't, I can't speak on who he chooses to whatever because it seems like he really
Oh, I
likes
thought it's
her.
because he getting a TV
You
show.
know what I'm saying? But I don't.
But
Oh,
I digress.
okay, yeah. Like I don't heard her talk a little bit, and I just don't. I feel like sometimes she
She
tries too
does.
hard. But I think at Jesus' point in his life, I
He
think he just
does, and
wants
that's
something
why I feel
different.
as if by and
Now
that's
at
that
this
it
point,
makes
I
obvious
feel
sense that he wants something different because I saw that he's trying to get like a
yeah,
television show, trying to be the next Steve Harvey, whatever he's trying to do with his life. Kudos to him, and that's understandable. But why'd you have to share that with someone that not come from where you came from? You so dope to black women. These black women supported you and carried you your entire career, and then once you're trying to switch up and do something different, you have to do it different with someone of another race. The black woman not good enough to share that level of success with you. She can't sit in the audience with you while you on TV now, not in the trap house no more. Hmm.
uh, I don't think that
He don't
he
think about
thinks
it at
about it like
all.
that.
Because if he
You
did,
know
he
what I'm
wouldn't be
saying?
with who he with.
No, I mean he likes what he likes. Like we seen him and who Keisha
He did
Cole
her
and
dirty.
and other. That's
That's another
I don't know.
conversation. We
I
can
don't
go all
know.
day. That's another
Into
conversation
that.
because
Yeah, yeah. I don't know
yeah.
something to that because whatever. But I mean, I I do think you can get to a certain point
Hmm.
in your life. I do think, especially when when you grew up like he did and went through the things that he did and live the lifestyle that he did. You know, I just think that he just probably wanted something different. I don't think he thinks about the race as much. And that's my opinion on 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 that. But let me tell you. But I'll tell you what. I had a talk with a white guy, right? One of my good friends from
Hmm.
trucking school. He's married to a black woman, lives in Kansas. And I asked him because I always ask people these, said good ass questions is what made you choose, what I'm saying, her versus the other, black women, you know, explaining to where he grew up at. He grew up in Wichita, which is very, mixed and whatever. So he wasn't new to the idea of dating black women. But what he told me was, you know, um, uh, he likes what he likes, and he likes that, and it's like a trophy for him to parade around a black woman. Now, I asked the same question to one of my black friends who's married to a white girl, and he told me something that kind of took me back a little bit, and I had to think about it. And what he told me was that he thinks that, like, for his liking, he was something that's very feminine, and from the black women that he dated in the past, they they were not as feminine. You know what I'm saying? They were very, like not saying they was look like men, but they carry a lot of male qualities. You know what I'm saying? And that made me think about what he said for me. I'm like, damn, I never heard that before. You know what I'm saying? He's just saying that his wife depends on him, and she allows him to make, what I'm saying, the choices, and doesn't, whatever. So, that was just what he told me. So, what do you think about that dynamic? And why do you think black women get a bad rep for being, um, I guess, so strong and not as dependent on men
I mean, it's I'm sorry.
as 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 some cultures are, right?
Mm,
Because it's a culture thing. Now I do think that. deeper into it, black men getting incarcerated very heavily, or broken houses, broken marriage, things like that. They do play a part in it. But what do you think about what those two men said?
Well, as far as the first man, when you said he just like what he likes, and he basically parades around as a trophy. To me, it just sounds like a fetish. The second,
You know,
yeah, that sounds
the
like a
white guy, yeah.
fetish to me. And the second guy, um, he sound weak, but I get it because
Mm,
unfortunately, like black women, we have to be strong, and we taught to be strong, and
right.
the government has created a system to where we don't have to have the black men in our life to make it. So if
Hmm.
so, it's like
Yeah,
if
that's
women are
good.
provided with like food assistance and housing and things like that, and they can do all of these things, and they
Yeah,
don't have to have a man present. All they need is the children that they bear from that man. What is the point of the man? Like
yeah,
I think anger festers. I think
yeah.
that humiliation festers. I think all that like tied into each other, it causes one to be angry.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just
Mm-hmm.
I feel as if black women have
Right.
a valid
Because
reason to be angry, and
uh,
I don't think there's nothing wrong with being strong. I don't think there's nothing wrong with providing for yourself. Of
yeah,
course, if a man wants to come in and to like and provide, and then my thing is, it's the black men that were raised by black women, and they've seen the strong black woman, and they've seen the things that their mom went through, and then they look at other black women and say, "I can't do that because you too strong for me, or you not letting me make any decisions," because they want to be the man in the house. You see what I'm
right.
saying? So I think it's just
Yeah,
I mean, it is what
yeah.
it is.
I mean, because at some point, like you said, I do think, especially being in the position that I am now, and I think about my life. Of course, it has something to do with the environment that I grew up in, right? But the people that like my mama would have flipped out if I brought
Hmm.
home a white girl, straight up. Even me going, even me going to Oklahoma, I know that I was like, okay, it was a culture shock because I never lived around white people. I'm coming from South Dallas, like I never lived, what I'm saying, never been door to door, in and out, what I'm saying, never. That was different for me. So I didn't even know that I liked some white women, what I'm saying, or other races of women. But after that, I just prefer black women. What I'm saying? That's just my preference. I don't discriminate, and to be honest, I like anybody who like me. I think at the same time, it's not a lot of I don't have a lot of like ego behind like I didn't get mad when Serena got with that white dude. You know what I'm saying? Now I do have times like, man, he can't handle all that ass. Like, god damn. You know what I'm saying? But maybe he can. We didn't pick the nigga. We don't seen Serena bounce, with Common and Drake, but she didn't marry none of that. So that's a dynamic that shit that I think about, but I think a lot of black men, some who think about as far as on the surface level, they think it boils down to this right here is every time I got my heart broke, who did it? It was a black
But
woman.
why can't it just be
Every
a
time
woman? Like,
somebody,
why does it have to be labeled? Being that there are so many races of women and so many women that you're going to encounter, I feel as if once
hmm
a black man get hurt, and if it's by a black woman, that's his reason to hurt every other black woman. Like, don't label us like, okay, a black woman hurt me, so fuck black women. I'm just gonna start fucking with Mexicans or fuck, whatever the case may be. Okay, a woman is gonna hurt you.
yeah,
I mean, men hurt, but it's like men
yeah,
go out hurt
but
as well. But
it's
I guess being
it's
that it's coming
worth,
from a black woman, it's just like
yeah,
they just envy us so much. It's just weird.
yeah. Like for instance, yeah, like for instance, like, I put it like this, and then we'll move on to the next topic, right? Me personally, everything that I'm going through, it doesn't scare me away from black women. Like that's just what I like. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I'm attracted to. You know what I'm saying? That's it just is. You know what I'm saying? And everything else falls behind it. But if I'm, whenever I'm go out the date, it's probably gonna be like 2026 because all this shit is a
Right.
little weird. You know what I'm saying? Start whatever. I'm gonna be looking for, black women first. You know what I'm saying? But everybody has a chance. I think it's just for some dudes they don't think about it like they have too
Hmm.
much pride, right? It's too much pride because don't get me wrong, it does hurt. Like going through a divorce with my wife, she's predominantly black and she's mixed with Creek Indian, but predominantly black. And when you see her, you know what I'm saying, when you see that person that you put all your love into, and you got the hashtags of the black love and all that shit, and then you go through what you know people go through. It's like, well, damn, what happened to the black love? What happened to
So you don't think
the
that
black
the
family? You
white
know what I'm saying? It's
people
a kind of feel like,
inherit and like go through the same hardships that a black family does as well, but it's just not labeled that way
yes,
because black people
they
have to label everything, and that's why I
they
think
go
we get
through it
our feelings hurt
more
the most.
than
We don't
we
know what
do.
they go through because they don't tell their business like we
Right,
do. So they probably struggling just as worse or worse than us. But I feel as
right.
if we
But
just
I
take
look
shit and just be like, our
at
life
shit
is
like,
over. Like, but I'm pretty sure every other way is not trying to
yeah,
dismiss what you've been through, but I just feel like black people just have to put stuff so heavy and bad on our own race. Like every race has like different ghetto traits and like they loud and they have like little instances that black people have as well. But I just feel as if when we speak about
hmm
ourselves sometimes, it's like you said the whole black love thing. And since that failed, you just labeled it like, well, what's the point of black love? Like for sure, like people who are, white, they have troubles, they have hardships. The person that they known to love and have children with and things like that, it didn't
yeah,
work and like that. But they don't label that stuff white love. It is. It's a marriage. It is what it is. But we have something to fall back
right.
on, so we have something
But
to blame
we,
versus just taking it. It is what it is and moving on.
right,
You just sit and just be mad.
right, because we put um those
We have
labels out,
something to
those
blame.
hashtags out, things like that. And right. And but at the same time, I do think that sometimes um just as far as, our women, you know, um I think a lot of times, okay, for instance, right? I was watching this documentary on YouTube
Hmm.
and they were breaking down a whole lot of stats. It wasn't about any type of race of people, just people in general and what they do, like field studies and shit, weird shit I just watched. And a lot of times, um, a lot of times black women are the reason or a part of the reason why a lot of
Who will
black
make
men go
who
to
is
jail.
counting the votes? Who is
And
counting?
at first I
Who is over there counting? Who is making these analysis? Who's behind
was
this?
like, this is this was a NPR special. This was a TED Talk
Who was the group of
type special,
people
but
gathering
I
the
mean, as
information?
far
Was
as
these African American or was these people of another race that has no idea what black people encounter? And of course, black women get blamed for everything. We got blamed for the election almost. It's
this,
just like we always get blamed for everything. We the one carried the election, but they said that
it
we
took a
didn't do
toll.
nothing. So it's just always
I
we just
mean,
get
it takes a
blamed.
toll,
Why do
but
y'all
I
hate
mean, just
black
think
women
about
so
it though.
much? That was
I
just
don't
that was
hate
a
black women.
phrase. That wasn't like I wasn't telling you that.
I don't
That
hate
was
them at
just like
all.
a phrase.
Oh no,
Nah,
I'm
I was
about
like,
to say
why
no,
y'all hate
no, I'm
black
about to say
women so
no.
much? It's just we just get
But
blamed for
but
everything.
but I'm like
Why are we the
because
reason black
realize
men? What
that
was the
we
reason? I
all
want
come
to
from
know. What?
these
Send me the link to this.
just environmental stuff, right? Like say for instance, a number of times, I've seen, just bad breakups, bad relationships, what I'm saying, and that guy he may get put on child support or whatever, what I'm saying, which is, it's up in the air. In my opinion, it's a little bit off. All the laws are kind of off, but like you said, it is a system to um, erase
Mhm.
the black man out of a black family, and it
Mhm.
replaces us with the government, right? And not only are we able to take the black man out of the black family, you are also able to extract resources from that black man. along with the resources that you gain from the government. So my question that I always ask all the black women is, in order for us to continue this fight that we are fighting against the government, police, and all that, the first thing that has to happen is the black women have to stand up and separate themselves from the government. Now, if it's a guy and he has no, you know, no whatsoever, he don't want to be there. He done made the baby. He don't want to be there. All right, I see you have to do what you have to do, but far as like a lot of times it's more men like me, men who are trying to have the family, who are trying to raise, you know what I'm saying, the kid, trying to do the best they can, and they end up on the ass end of a legal whipping. And for me personally, it is disturbing and it cuts deep when you sit in front of this white judge and he's deciding what goes on between like the breakup of a black marriage. It's a weird little smirk. It's a weird little aura to see all these white men standing around us black people and like, yeah, we got another one type of shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the move. You know what I'm saying? And they have a lot of their problems too. And to be honest, I think that it's a lot more broken white families than it's black families. Um, but like you said, we already have the spotlight on us. So um, those things kind of get highlighted. But I just
Hmm.
thought that was very, very interesting. You know what I'm saying? But even with the whole Jeezy and Gucci thing, I mean, Jeezy's a corporate thug. So, you know,
Next
at some point he
subject.
was going to go corporate. Just saying. Next. That can go on for hours too. But let me see. Speaking of black women, let's be on the other good tip, right? How do you feel about
Man,
Kamala
that shit is
Harris
so
being the
dope.
first female vice president?
That is so iconic. Like she's a legend, honey.
Right.
Like that is everything. Like it's just it give me chills. Like I don't care if she brown, black, blue, purple, or orange. She's a woman, and she made history. So
Well,
she don't have to be fully black. She don't have to be whatever.
now,
I don't care what she is. She's a woman, and she made history, and it's very inspiring. Like I don't have children yet, but I do
right.
have young nieces, so that is very, very inspiring to tell my niece like. Kenzie, like the vice
Hmm.
president is a woman, like she will be able to see that, that is that's everything. That is so amazing.
Hmm. Right now, yeah, that really is. It shocked me. To be honest, I didn't vote for Biden. Didn't vote for Trump either. But it was I voted for I voted Libertarian Party for the first time. But it was also a black woman that was vice president. Her name was that she
Hmm.
was a nominee. Her name was Angela Walker. Also for that party. But for Kamala Harris, I think although the image is great, you know what I'm saying. For me, it does her past kind of bothers me. Like her being a part of a party, it bothers me because I know at some point she's going to go agenda, and I know at some point she. I mean, it was her job or her duty, but she locked up a lot of black men. She locked up a lot of people that look like me, and didn't do as much to rehabilitate them once they came out, or didn't really care much. You know what I'm saying? So that troubles me. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of times, um, regardless on what race, people who hold these seats, a lot of times they don't get vetted for what the
Hmm.
responsibilities that they have, right? I feel like a lot of times they get vetted because, oh, she's black and she went to a
I think
HBCU
that's more of
and she's
I
AKA
think that's more of
and
a
she's black
like
and she wear Timberland
a
boots.
confirmation in the sense like she kind of like me is like for someone to come where you come from and know the things that and they can say that they're the vice president just to have anything relatable to that person. I just think it's more of that sense, not more in the sense of, oh yeah, she about to
Right,
change the world. It's not that. It's just a sense of like appreciation, like wow, like she went to the school I went to, like she wrote the stuff,
right.
like it's more of that in a sense, and it's like a joyous occasion. So whatever she's done in her past, I feel as if all these politicians are crooked. I
Right.
mean, they do stuff that we don't even know about. Imagine the people who you would want to win. You don't know what
Right.
they do about because all their secrets aren't out there. So I feel as if everyone has a past. I mean, but if they're taking the necessary steps to like correct
Yeah.
it, I don't like the fact that Donald Trump did not speak on the arrest with, George Floyd or Breonna Taylor. That disturbed me that he had children in cages. Like that disturbed me that he said he was the least racist person. Like he didn't never
Yeah,
deny that he was a racist. He said he was the least racist
yeah,
person. That type of shit disturbs me.
yeah.
But
I
for a person
mean,
to do
I
something and
think
like she can only do things
yeah,
according all of this, I don't
because
say
Biden done
horrible people
said
did
some
horrible
horrible
shit. At the
shit.
end of the day, they can
Biden
only
done,
do so much as they can. I'm not trying to take up for
yeah.
them or anything like that. But to base someone's present on like their past is unfair.
Hmm.
Like, cause Trump has displayed throughout the whole. I know you didn't vote for him or nothing, but I'm just saying, like, people have voted for that man. They ignore all that stuff about
Right.
him,
Yeah.
and they were still mad that he didn't win. So I mean, people have passed, people do things like that. But if someone is trying to advocate and make a change and like for the better, I feel as if we just give people. I don't think we give people a chance anymore, and I feel as if we hold people passes against them. And that's normal because you're human. And of course, it's gonna be like a
Right.
sense of like, I don't know if I should do that. It's gonna be, like some, you're not gonna have a sense of
Yeah. We
urgency
don't.
to like be
Yeah.
on someone's side who has done something
Yeah.
wrong. That's completely understandable. But like once you forgive a person and just want to move on, it's just like you have to move on and just let go and just like, come on, what else? You got to keep going.
Right. Right. See, because these days, I don't think we allow people to grow. Right. When you look at some of our greatest leaders, Maya Angelou, you know what I'm saying? She came from
Hmm.
rough, upbringing. You know what I'm saying? That she had every
Hmm.
reason to not be who she became. Malcolm X, he was a
Exactly.
hustler, he
Everyone
was
has a
a pimp.
past.
You know what I'm saying? Dope dealer. But Malcolm Little became Malcolm X, and he became one of our greatest leaders. So I do think it's a catch 22, some of those things. And I just hate, especially some of these guys, like seeing Bill Cosby get locked up, that shit hurt me. Cause that's somebody I grew up on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like the bringing back up the past back up because it's obvious you don't have
But
anything
you have to
else
think of the
to bring
past
up
that is
at the
being
time.
brought up. I get the whole
You know what I'm
Kamala
saying?
thing and sending black men to jail, but black people, they've been sending black men to jail before Kamala. They're gonna keep sending because the system is not created to protect and to serve black people. So black men will always get sent to jail because the system is made it to be that way.
Yeah.
As far as Bill Cosby, his past involved
Right.
drugging women and raping them. Now, as a woman, I'm not saying I wasn't there. I don't
Yeah.
know what happened. That's just like with R. Kelly.
But
I don't give. I used to love R. Kelly, but you
right.
pissing on kids and all this other stuff and all that other stuff.
No.
But what's the
Now see, R.
difference
Kelly gotta
between
go.
that's
That's different.
okay? Those are kids, but we
'Cause
don't know the
those are
all.
kids.
Most of those women with Bill Cosby
Those are
underage or
kids.
young, they was like young actresses and things like that. Or what was their age group? They was of
No.
age, but they was just drugged.
They was around the same age. They was around the same age.
And he was
You know,
drugging them, right,
Bill
and
Cosby
raping
was a
them,
hot
right.
nigga at that time, and that was
Was
and
it those that like I thought it was he was
I
raping them
don't
and drugging them.
I don't know because the era
Oh.
those were those were the allegations, but I'm thinking about the
Mhm.
time frame, right? Like my dad is in the 70s, so he has a great scope on the time frame. And he was like, man, everybody was on. Now, did he probably do something, wrong? Yeah. But even my dad was like, even back then, it wasn't no secret among the black community. And I don't think that it was a secret for some of those women. I
Well,
think they had a
I'm gonna
choice.
send the
They
link to
had a
this
choice to
interview
go
with
in there.
Jennifer
He
Lewis.
wasn't
She said that she was at an
picking them
audition
up.
for a Bill Cosby role, and she was talking to one of
Yeah.
the actresses. It was a girl backstage or whatever. As soon as she brought up Bill Cosby's name, the girl started shaking and crying. So I mean, I believe that people know, like, and that's the thing with
And I,
black people, like, we see stuff going on, we know it's not right, but we just don't say nothing, just keep our business to ourselves. We'll learn from a early age to be quiet. What goes on in this house stays in this house. So we are already embedded with fear at a young age, but I don't think that it's an
right.
excuse for
But
to
here's my
drug
thing,
a
though.
person and take advantage of them.
No, it's no excuses. It's no excuses for that. But I'm speaking on more of general terms, though. Like, if you know that there's possibly a dude that it's been some
But
rumors
like
that,
you
hey,
said,
he done
nobody was
put
saying
some
nothing.
molly and
So
some,
I guess
some
people was
girls'
just
drinks, and
being
he
quiet
doing
and they
it.
probably didn't know, or they probably didn't believe them.
Right.
And then a lot of times
No, they knew.
I can't speak. I mean, you probably.
They knew
I'm
about
sorry.
that. But what made him? Oh, you good? All I'm saying is, what made him take so
Hmm.
long? Like for a dude like Bill Cosby at that time, he was he was the head nigga in charge for a lot. He wanted to do all these great things. He had the power to. So I'm thinking like, well, if he had that power, and of course a lot of white people, they whatever. I'm pretty sure a lot of them didn't like him at that time. Why didn't they go at that time and say, hey, this dude is doing this? Because I think if there would have been a full onslaught of, what I'm saying, that, then he would have been picked off. Or maybe because at that time a lot more was accepted, you know, and and that's one of the weird paradigms in it. But I mean, if he did all that weird shit, and he deserved, you know, I just hate to see um like if somebody does a crime, that
Hmm.
person needs to go away from that crime expeditiously, not 50, 60 years away, because it's like, well, damn, you know what I'm saying? He on his deathbed. He gonna send a nigga to jail for
But does
something
that
he probably
erase
don't
the
even
fact that
remember.
he
He's so
did it?
old. You know what I'm saying?
So
But
why does it matter what time he went to jail for?
no, but you also can't prove that he did it. I'm thinking
Yeah,
about as far as
but the woman
legal
knows, and then
terms,
at the end of
you can't prove that he did that.
I've been a woman
60
all
years
my
ago, like,
life, and I know how the fear that we have when a man when we're scared of a man, because men don't understand how powerful they are at times, and I don't think I think a lot of men just like just
mm-hmm,
are very dismissive to women's feelings, and they have the right to tell women when and how and why, and like when they can talk. You can never tell a person when to tell a story. When someone is ready to tell a story, they will, because you don't know the things that they experienced. You don't know the things that was
right,
told to them within that
right,
situation. You don't know if he had people. So it's just like, being that I wasn't there, I would
it's
never
true.
defend a situation that someone like was taken advantage of in. So I remember when the whole thing came out about the whole Dr. Dre thing. Why didn't she say something then? Why the people who was around him every day didn't say nothing? They seen this lady get beat. They seen this lady get abused. They seen this lady deal with all these things, but no one said nothing. And then they say, "Well, why she wait all this time? Why you didn't say nothing right then and there?"
Yeah.
But we always get blamed for it in the end. And it's plenty of people that can take up for us. But like I said, we the most unprotected. We the most disrespected. People be around and see stuff happening and don't do anything. So as far as
Um,
the whole wait, why you wait 20 years?
cause
Why
it,
you wait 30 years? You can
yeah,
never tell a woman when it's
at
time
some
for her to
point,
tell a story.
true. But don't you think that if it's something, especially when you're dealing with high
Why? Because
profile
they're high. It don't when someone's
celebrities,
taking
right?
advantage of
Because
you, it don't matter if
apparently,
they the president,
if
they the priest, who or when it comes to someone being taken advantage of, all that who they are goes out the window. At the end of the day, they're just the person that attacked them. They're the monster. So they're not looked at as a Bill Cosby, looked at as an art. They look at a
okay,
monster. So
right,
as little kids, we've always been fearful of monsters, right?
right. So what about
As a kid. So it's just when you're being taken advantage of, you go back to that
right?
childlike memory, and all you see is a monster. So you don't care about their status, you don't care about their wealth, you don't care about their connections. All you know is
Okay.
you was taken advantage of. Whatever was told to you by that monster, that boogeyman or whatever. You don't tell mama, do you, all the time when you was younger? You don't go to her every day.
Hmm.
Every time you had a nightmare, something in the beginning you might did, but then like how little kids say, "Well, I'm just not gonna say nothing no more." So it's just like you don't. People are. I think I like seeing like plenty of interviews and like seeing like little stories and things like that. Traumatized and taking it of, it's just like they go to a different mindset. So it's just like,
Hmm. So what would you say to the women who accuse guys of doing these things and they were lying about it? Because that's the problem that I have. I don't have the problem of these women, whoever they are, whatever color race they
mhm,
are, of going and telling their story if it is true. But a lot of women go out and they try to seek the downfall of a man because of certain reasons, maybe relationship reasons, maybe he left them alone. And a lot of men, careers and lives have been, trampled and tortured and halted because of
mhm,
some women who they create a story and they know it's the time because the times are deep and intense oh, he did this to me. Now this guy gets fired from his job. Now this guy gets done that. And then they go through all that just to find out, get in court and say,
Hmm.
well, I wasn't telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? And those girls don't get any consequences. I think those girls should be locked up because you lied you lied and you had a man's career in jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? From the from the Brian Banks story to a couple of these NFL players to um just some celebrities too. Like, what do what would you say to the women that use that? Because to be honest, it's a very much slight against those women who have those real stories. So what would you say against those women who use that as for a benefit, not to bring
All I
awareness to
gotta say in
anything,
that
but
situation, you
for
never win when you play
monetary gain?
dirty. And like Mama always said, while you digging one ditch, you better dig two.
Yeah, that's
Cause we both following them up. But no,
straight
it's
up,
like, yeah,
straight
of
up.
course, some women are spiteful. Like I do believe because I'm like weird.
Yeah,
There's certain people hire women to ruin certain men's careers as if some of the allegations that are brought against men by women who they didn't do that to, they might have done it to other women, and it might be karma. But women is just flat out just lying. Like you never win when you play. So that's of course I agree to anything that's gonna damage someone's career, and it's a false accusation.
right.
So that's not cute at all.
Okay, cool. Well, let's move on to the next topic. What do you think about? I got a couple more topics, and then we're gonna go gather because I know you got places to be, people to see. So it's about the the state the state of women now. What do you think about the state of women right now? What is the
we
state of not only women? What
we
is the state of
shit.
the black women right now in
I
our
feel
society?
that we run
What
the
is
shit.
that?
I feel like a lot of black women are tired of sitting around.
We run.
I feel as if a lot of, like how you said earlier, like black women should stay or get away from the government type stuff. I feel like black women are like the highest, we the like the highest rising number in like black entrepreneurs. So it's just like we really like learning to be more business oriented, really trying to change like who we are. I see a lot of black women holding like functions and stuff, how to teach people,
Hmm.
build businesses and work on their credit and how to be more in tune with ourselves. I feel as if black women are taking care of our bodies. We're actually
Hmm.
taking ourselves serious. Shit. That's how I feel about the state of black women. And it's not, no age group is. Everybody's out here
Right
just,
on.
like getting it. And I feel it's time.
Right. Right. Now let me ask you also another question, real quick, and we're gonna bounce it up two subjects. Does the black man have a part in the black women's future in our society? Where do we fit in all that? We know you want you'll go get a you go out, you do this, you do that, you're doing your thing. But where do we come in? And not only where
I
can
mean,
we contribute?
like
What do we have to do?
I feel as if I don't think
Because we
black
run.
women push black men away. At the end of the day, like you can't keep someone who doesn't want to be kept. We're not about to. I feel as if black women are strong in a sense where, like in most cases, we're not going to beg anyone to stay around. As if some black men are very like look childlike in a sense, especially if they don't have a good relationship with their mother. Like it's kind of like we have to be
Mm,
mama and friend, and it's just
mm,
like a lot of
yeah,
roles that we have to play when dealing with a man that has like a troubled past or who is insecure or who doesn't know. So I feel as if that the black man, we
yeah.
never erased them out of the equation. I feel as if due to insecurity and own self doubt that they decided to pick up and leave. And I think that's why a lot of
Okay,
just instead of staying sticking it out,
okay,
they just move on and then they know what they have 5 or 6 kids. So I feel as if that we never push the black man away. We always wanted
okay.
him around. I feel as if
Already.
we did lean more on government assistance than the black man because that is more consistent than someone staying or going. And we don't know which way because we know that on what day of the month that them food stamps gonna hit, but we don't know if you're gonna be here today or tomorrow. So it's just like I feel as if due to that reason, we have to lean on certain things to get us by.
Mm,
But I feel as if the black man would just stick around and stick it out instead of moving on and sticking his dick somewhere else, then we can get a lot, and we can get a lot of shit accomplished. I feel as if that the
or being
or being forced out. I'm not sure what man out,
or
because I
being
feel as if
forced
as a
out.
man that you're the head of the house. Well, that's for other reasons.
Divorce me. Because once you get married,
Did you know that
because once
before
you
you
get
got
married,
married?
the man gives up his whole leverage. That's it,
Okay.
and it's a lose lose. When kind of, because my dad, he went through a divorce, and he had to wait until I was 7 years old to marry my mother, not
Yeah, and
because he
then
didn't
too,
want
you
to, but
have. I
because
mean,
of
it's a
his
lot of laws.
ex-wife being
It's a lot
ghost.
of other
You
other
know what I'm
things that
saying? So
that ruins marriages as well, like all these different laws and
yeah,
rules and
so
all
I
that. If
think
it can be just something simple as just to give her sign a piece of paper, and if you could just sign a piece of paper, get so much other stuff that goes into it, and then once you're with someone for so long, but as far as like where black men stand with black women, I feel as if we want them to stand right next to us. That's how I feel. I feel like black men are needed. I feel that black men are appreciated. I feel black men are wanted, but have to, they have to want us as well.
mm,
So I just feel like, especially, black people, we so impatient, like impatient. We just,
right.
yeah, we very impatient. So I mean, hey,
Yeah,
we
we want
need
more.
patience and prayer. Patience and prayer
Yeah,
is needed in the black
and I
community,
also
in the
think
black
that
household. If that is more implemented in
right.
our everyday lives, I think
Yeah.
that more black
It,
families will stick together.
yes, I was gonna get to. I think that although we both know black women and shit, black men and shit, but in order for this whole shit to work like we want it to work, both people, the black man and the black woman, need to
Hmm.
do what they need to do to make sure that they are healed from the traumas that they experienced while growing up. So when they get to a
And
relationship,
also,
they
I
don't
feel as
bring
if when
any
you
of that
first
baggage
meet
in,
someone,
and they
if
can
you
start
see
on a
that
clean
they're
slate. They're
are
healed. Their mind is
displaying
right.
certain red flags or certain traits that you see that they may be toxic or might need help, instead of keeping the relationship going, I feel as if more people need to be honest up front and say, hey, I mean, I really like you. I think you're a dope person, but say, baby girl, like, probably have you decided to seek therapy? Like, hey, I got this book I used to read. Like, hey,
Right.
I feel as if people are more honest with one another versus just saying, well, she just crazy. They label that shit as crazy. You see what I'm saying? Like, all black women are not crazy. So it's just like I feel as if we be more honest, because we deal with a lot of
Yep. And a
toxic
lot of women
people, and that's
also,
like on both sides. It's a lot of toxic
yeah.
men, it's a lot of toxic women, but people still deal with them because these days that shit is popular. Like, I want a toxic nigga. That
Mhm.
shit is sexy to people, but it's damaging as well.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Straight up. Straight up.
Hmm.
That is true. So, in conclusion, right? What are your two more things? We'll go ahead and get out of here. What are your future endeavors? What is Michelle Ellis going to do in the future? What does she has going? What does she has
We just
planned? What
gotta
are
wait
some of
and
the
see. I
goals
am
that
working.
you have for the future?
I used to hate when people say that, but now I understand why they said it. But now, you just have to wait and see. Like, no, seriously, like, I'm working on a lot of stuff. Like, I love to help people. Like, my
Straight
organization is
up.
built off, like, clutch changing lives,
Yeah.
understanding their challenge and
Yeah.
hardship. So that's always been in me to help, whether it's fitness, whether it's, whatever the case may be. So I'm gonna be helping people. Just know that. Yes.
That is what's up. And lastly,
Okay.
what would you tell young Michelle? If you seen her and you experience her, you say, "Hey, it look like me." You walk up to her and say, "God
I
damn,
would tell her,
must be in a time machine because that is me." What will you tell
tell
her
her, well, I just tell her, like, period.
to
Like,
look
if I
forward to in the
see
future?
her down the street and I see little me, I'd be like,
Just what will you tell her about her future? What will you tell her to try to um, give her a
I
heads
would
up on
tell
things
young
to
Michelle that she's very
expect
beautiful.
as she grows
I
up?
would tell Michelle to be patient, be very, very patient. And I would tell young Michelle that it's all gonna work out.
Hmm.
Yep. And she not gonna listen though, cause I never
Already.
listen. You know,
That's what's up. Well, Michelle, all right.
she ain't never. Now she gonna
So
be like,
after
"Who
she
are
hear all that shit,
you?"
she gonna be
I'm
like,
like, "Girl, get on my
all right,
face." She
nigga, you
gonna
know
keep
what I'm saying?
walking. Yeah. I'm trying to say it, but yeah, I'm gonna just have to
And you're gonna
screen
be
it
like,
and
all right, I'm
walk
trying to
out.
tell you, man, you ain't listen.
Attitude.
Straight
It's
up. Well, Michelle, I highly appreciate you joining me on this podcast, giving me a part of your time that is very valuable. Time is valuable, something that we
Yep.
can't get back. So I highly appreciate that. And
You're
thank you
welcome.
for
And I
being
will
on the
be
Trill
sending you an
Pill, taking the
updated list.
Trill Pill
Though. I
with your
found
boy.
some good
Um,
stuff.
Also,
Found organic
yes, please do.
organic
Please
Doritos,
do.
bro.
Please do.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, I seen you post that, and I thought to
Yes,
go to
and
Target
those
today,
and they very
but I'm gonna go
so
another
they
time
gonna
trying to
hit you. So
find them.
you be
What was
like,
it, spicy white cheddar? Them shits look fire as hell.
but I'm gonna send you the updated list though.
Straight up, right on. So at this time, I will, go ahead and allow you to plug in your
Okay.
organization, plug
Just
in your
follow me on
socials, tell the
Instagram
people
right
where they
now. I
can
post a
find
lot of
you at.
health tips. I post a lot of things that have helped me like get to the point where I am now. My Instagram is what is my Instagram? Toned underscore queen
Hmm.
underscore or QEN or follow me on Instagram. Giving out my Snapchat.
Right on. And is there a way people can get
Well, as far as
is there a way people can
I'm
get in
currently
touch
like
with
in the works with
your
that,
organization,
in
please?
the works with another organization as well. So as far as club people, I still homeless, I still get things like that. I
Okay.
just don't put it like out there as much. But if anybody anybody want to collaborate, anyone has anybody want to
Hmm.
go grocery shopping together, learn more about like the foods that I've eaten, the foods that have helped me. Like I'm such a nice person. Just inbox me or whatever, and I.
Already. That's what's up. Well, like I said, I appreciate you, Michelle. At this time, everybody, that is the Trill Pill Podcast with Khalil Sneed featuring Michelle Ellis, aka Toned underscore. Put the goddamn underscore,
And you
please,
forgot the underscore at
Queen.
the end. It's the
You
underscore at
gotta
the
tell
end
motherfuckers
too.
because they'll be like, I didn't see it. I couldn't.
Yeah.
You weren't listening. Oh, it's another underscore. Okay, look, I forgot. Look at.
Oh
Hey,
wow.
don't mind me. I'm about 7 shots in of
Look,
my favorite liquor,
strawberry.
mixed
Tell
with the
them get the
simple
strawberry.
lemonade that you don't like, the raspberry kind. So, but nonetheless,
Thank
yeah,
you.
it's all good.
That's
Toned
right.
underscore Queen underscore. Right? Okay, that's where you go find Michelle at about anything that you want to know about Michelle.
Come on
So
now.
hit her up, and if you want to get to it, and you can do that, fellas. Hit her up too. Shoot your shot. Send them pics, fellas. Shoot your shot. Who, who knows? That nigga may be the one. He might be last one. Who knows? We don't want to look. I'm not
Okay,
getting on
that's
here and not
I
encouraging my
appreciate
brothers to
it.
get in touch with black women. That is not what we do here on Chill Pill Podcast. We definitely, yeah, we promote black love. So all my niggas, you see it, hit her up. Remember the underscore between the tone and the
Thank you,
queen and after
Khalil.
the queen. So thank you, Michelle. This was a great podcast.
Thank you.
And much love to you. Much love to your beautiful mother,
Yes,
your beautiful
bye.
family. God bless you all. And you guys have a good time.